another episode of Indie Choice Picks. Today we're doing something a little different. I have a fellow named Nathan who is coming on the show who is actually a writer, wrote a book about certain dreams he's used to have, and now he's turned it into a comic. So please give it up for Nathan coming onto the show as he gives us his awesome new comic series, DreamX, which I think is pretty catchy. You guys enjoy. Bye. Hey, Nathan, man, thank you for coming on to the show. I really appreciate you giving me the time to kind of dig into your head and kind of figure out what it is you're working on. So I'm going to give the mic over to you, say to the audience who you are, what you're working on, the name of your book, and we'll go on from there. Go ahead.
I'm Nathan Murray, and for the past year, I've been working on a series called the DreamVentur series. It includes a raw documented account of my personal dreams, and all of those evolved to a comic book series called DreamX, and some of those dreams evolve even further into a graphic novel. All of them eventually are all intertwined, so you might read something in the graphic novel and you have to go reference it back into the dream book.
Okay.
That's pretty much what I've been doing for the last year.
So did you write the book first? Like, is it a full-length book that people can go out and buy, or is it just something you put together and just kind of use as a reference?
No, I have a book cover we're finalizing right now for it. Currently, that particular volume, the first volume, is 50 dreams. I have about 15 to 20 different artist illustrations from people all over the world. A couple people from Brazil, right here in Pontiac, Michigan, some people in Italy. They've all done single seam illustrations for a couple of the dreams in the book, probably about 20 of the dreams in the book, so not all of them. Just to have some artwork for people who are in the comic book world. They can take a look, and I mean, I think some of the illustrations are absolutely incredible, and they're fun to look at while you're reading. And
Nice.
then that was just all documented from my dreams over the year.
Okay.
So the book is ready to print, and I'm getting close to printing it with a few of the comic issues.
Now, is this a literary book, or is it more of a graphic novel or a storybook? What kind of book are we talking here?
Basically, it's I guess you would call it maybe an anthology of a mixture of all different dreams.
Okay.
The dreams are short. They're anywhere from 300 to 1,000 words, so they're not long. So I might have one dream in there that's 400 words. I've had it edited in not a lot. I wanted to keep it more of like a raw account, like a journal of my own dreams.
Right.
So that book starts the evolution, and you'll notice along the way. So I chose 12 specific dreams in that book to evolve to a comic. So if you're reading the book and you'll notice a name of a dream in the book, if you've also read the comic issue, you'll see that name in a comic issue, and then you can kind of compare the differences of how it evolved from the book to an actual comic and some of the...
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
All right, I guess we're still recording. So go ahead and continue. I don't know what happened.
Did you hear kind of like the correlation between the book and the comic?
So you said that some of the dreams that you wrote in the book, there's like a comic that kind of expands on that dream.
Yeah. So for example, in the dream book I sent you, the illustration on top of the dream book, the DreamVentur book, that digital copy I sent you,
right?
That dream's called the lead dog. And I thought Alessandra Impario, hope I pronounced it right, she did a great job illustrating that specific dream. That dream didn't evolve to a comic. I didn't choose that dream to go to a comic. But you see that single scene dream in the book. But then if you look on the cover of the DreamX 1, you'll see a guy shooting guns on there, kind of like the Matrix. That dream was called Japanese Mafia. I had a guy in South America create that comic, but I had another person do a single scene illustration in the book. So I chose that dream specifically to go from the book to the comic, just because I thought it was kind of interesting, kind of wacky, things like that.
Gotcha.
So you'll notice some of those dreams just evolve to the comic issue.
So with the book that you're printing now, what's the plan? Are you going to independently publish it? Are you looking for an agent or a publisher to kind of print it for you, or are you just kind of doing your own thing?
I'm pretty new to this world. This all started with a person on my Facebook page after I posted one dream saying you should do a blog. And then from there, I expanded it. So right now with the book, I was planning on just printing a few copies on my own. Honestly, I don't even really know to begin to where to look for an agent. And then the comic issues themselves, since they're all kind of intertwined, I was going to print the issue 1 up with the book. And then issue 1, 2, 3, and my special edition, Trinado, all of those are ready to go. I'm just finalizing the covers. I can print all of those. So I have the book and the 4 issues ready. And the graphic novel is in illustration right now. So I was going to do a lot of it by myself.
Okay. Well, if you're looking for an agent, I can kind of point you in the right direction after we're done. It's a lengthy process. That's why a lot of people who are writing their books, they're going independent, meaning they're using Amazon to kind of publish and print all their stuff, and they're doing all the marketing via social media and stuff like that. But if you're looking for a little less hassle, because it's quite the hassle being self-published, but then it is the hassle trying to find an agent and get your stuff not only accepted by an agent, but also pitched to a publisher.
I almost feel like when you search for an agent, they're all... Yeah. I almost feel like when you search for an agent, they're all secret agents, like 007 or something.
Yeah, it's weird because I've tried reaching out to an agent before I became independently published, and it was more or less like they were looking for a specific brand or a specific kind of genre that, you know, this year, say for example, last 10 years has been about superheroes, right? You would think that writing a book about superheroes would be the bread and butter for most of these agents, but no, they're looking for more, I guess, diverse, I guess, like more female-led heroes or something like that. And, you know, if what they say is objective, you know, they're looking for a certain sort of genre that they know for a fact is going to sell. So looking for an agent these days is kind of hard because most of them are looking for that most female-led characters, and I've noticed that a lot. So, I mean, if you have a female-led character who's strong on her own, blah, 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 and you wrote a book about her, guaranteed that book will be picked up by an agent in no time. But, again, it all depends on what that particular agent is looking for in terms of their I guess, style, their choices of storytelling and stuff like that, because they know they know what the publisher is going to publish and stuff like that. And just go on to Barnes & Noble and look at the bookshelf and see what's selling and see what's on the shelf. That'll kind of give you an idea of what's going on in terms of the traditional publishing world. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. No, I'm all for that. I'm not sure if I'll go that route, but so far my whole project's been self-funded. I haven't even really tried looking at Kickstarter, Indiegogo yet. I think I'm going to get there and maybe get up a plan for either maybe the printing of the book or at least starting with the comic issues. Okay.
So you wrote the book, everything is printed. How are you going to distribute it? Because I'm kind of interested. I like analogy books where you just have multiple stories that somehow intertwine, and it's kind of interesting.
At first, again, I'm all new to this world, so I was just gonna go around to a lot of the comic book shops in the area and talk to them about it, show them, it's a lot of groundwork, a lot of legwork, but got to get your name out somewhere. And then probably maybe not this year, and if it is this year, it's probably toward the end of the year, hit up some of the cons, start networking, getting your name out there, and going about that way. And then obviously social media. I haven't got an author website yet, but I want to get one created. I was looking at Squarespace, or even a lady I know, she does websites, and maybe I'll make one of those up and just slowly getting the name out there. I mean, obviously, it takes time to grow, so I'm not expecting like an avalanche of anything right at the beginning. So,
Right. So, have you looked into possibly publishing on Amazon? Because I mean, not a fan of Amazon because it does take a lot of work to kind of promote your stuff, but it is kind of like on demand. People can download digital copies, or you can have it set up to where it's printed on demand for people who want to order it, and the revenue goes straight to you. I think like 70% of the revenue goes straight to you, and the other 30% goes to like using the services and stuff like that. So that's like kind of like an avenue to look into. Not a lot of money. Actually, it's no money out of your pocket, really. You just upload the files, you edit it on there, and set it up in a format that you want, and Amazon does the rest. So that's an avenue that you're looking to kind of produce your work. It's free. You don't have to upfront any kind of money because you say you have all your artwork and stuff done. You just need to compile it into like a Word doc or PDF, and Amazon pretty much does the rest. So that's one avenue you can use to kind of get your work out there and kind of start promoting it on your own and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've thought of that, and then I've also looked at Considered and Comixology.
Yeah, good one.
I believe
Comixology
Amazon
is
bought
owned
them
by
out.
Amazon too, if you didn't know.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. I heard they bought them out. Amazon pretty much owns everything that doesn't have Walmart written on it, I guess.
Yeah, Disney and Amazon are fighting now. I just wonder who's going to win.
Yeah. Maybe not. Hopefully for us, nobody. Hopefully they just keep beating each other up, right?
Right. So you went from writing the book to going into a more comic illustrated forefront. What kind of brought that along? Why not just write the stories or elaborate on those dreams in a form of a literary format? What made you want to do a more comic related format?
Well, it it's interesting because when I started writing the first couple dreams down that I had, I didn't really know what I was planning on doing. I just created a basic blog, and I had a few people out there say, "Oh, this is interesting. You should create a blog." So I created the blog, and then I don't know. One night I just sat down at the kitchen table, and that piece of paper, kind of like looking note thing that I sent you on Twitter, that was the notes I took, and from there I just started expanding out, and that was pretty much about a month after my first couple dreams. And then once I started documenting the dreams and looking for an editor, it was just kind of recommended maybe the style would fit better with comics. So that spurred the DreamX comic series. But last December, in probably 2 weeks, I sat down and wrote 5 stories. And yeah, probably about 2 weeks. It was probably about 6 hours of writing each. And I used my dreams, 3 or 4 of my dreams in each graphic or each issue. And when I had someone read it, they said the style would lend very well to a graphic novel. So with all of that, me using my dreams and documenting my dreams, and then I had someone do one of my dreams into a mini comic, it just kind of spurred from there.
Right. So you say these dreams. Every time I hear you say dreams, I think that maybe you had these dreams and you're just putting them down on paper. Because me personally, I don't remember my dreams. So I'm kind of impressed if these are going to be like actual dreams you had. So
yeah, these are ever since I was a kid, I've had oddball dreams.
you said eyeball dreams?
Odd, crazy
Odd.
dreams, weird
Okay.
dreams. Yeah. So, I mean, and they're all different. Some are just, basic memories probably as a kid or whatever, but then other ones are really weird. Like this one isn't a part of this particular book, but if I make it past the first series, I had a dream about a person being skinned alive. It's just crazy, but I had it. And it will be in more of my horror related one if I get to the second series. So I'll give you an example. I have a dream called You Ain't No Donnelly. I had this dream. I wrote it down. Basically, it was like a Mexican gang, and uh, some shots were fired, cops were killed, but I had to lift a particular set of weights to be a part of their crew, and I did it, so they got me out of there. So I took that dream. It's written in the book. I had it evolved to a comic, and it is, I believe, in issue 2. Aaron Johnson was the illustrator of it, a guy I met through connecting comic books on Facebook, a group on Facebook. Then I also took that dream, and my major protagonist in the graphic novel, his right-hand man, security guard, was the leader from the dream that I had.
Right. Okay.
So that's how it evolved through all 3 mediums.
And you've only, in this first issue, you've only written down a few, but there's a lot more to come, correct?
Yeah, if I make it that far, yes. Yep. I have about 200 dreams already written down, ready to go for my second series. The graphic novel's already written for the second series. I haven't put it to an editor or scripted it out yet. And then I already have 12 to 14 dreams picked out that I would be able to create DreamX 4, 5, and 6 and another special edition.
That sounds cool.
All ready to go. I mean, it's a lot of work. I've learned a lot this year. I'm not an illustrator, so I will never take credit for anything that I share. When people ask, I always credit the actual illustrators. Before this year, I never even considered myself a writer. I just started writing these dreams down, and then it evolved, like I said, to 5 stories that the story that I wrote down does have some of my imagination in it, but then key components of it are from actual dreams that you see through the comics in the DreamVentur book. But the graphic novel is going to be about 85 to 90 pages, and I have 4 more of those that all tie together. So if I can get that far, I'll develop them all.
Sounds good, man. That sounds like an exciting kind of deal you got going on there. I'm looking forward to it. So whenever you guys, whenever you publish that first book, let me know, because I'll pick one up and kind of poke through it and stuff like that. Seems like it'll be a lot of fun just exploring like multiple stories and understanding like certain characters in your books and where the stories can go. I like those little quick reads that kind of make you think like, huh, you know? Sounds like fun. I like it.
Yeah. Well, growing up, I always played video games, and I always wanted to work at like DreamWorks or Pixar, but I was just too chicken to move out to California by myself. So, then I just got into the everyday grind of working and life and stuff. So, I'm trying to set this up to where this is my own chance to make a video game, but it's pretty much going to be in print format.
Right.
So the first series is loosely connected, but I'm going to make it a lot tighter as I go. So you have to read the graphic novel, because basically all 3 mediums, it's going to start forming another story, but you need to be able to read all 3 of them to form that story.
I got you, 100. That sounds like fun. That sounds like you said you've been writing this book for a while, this one part, and then you're going into the graphic novel stage. What is going to put all these together? Have you been working on this overall story for a long time, or was it something that just happened within the last couple of years of you working on this?
Well, I've only been working on this a year so far, but the overarching and I didn't know if I heard all your question, but the overarching goal was to have the 3 mediums and then have something in there to where they all had to relate together. I've had this idea pretty much about 3 or 4 months in, only when like 2 or 3 of the mini comics were illustrated. And, I had the 50 dreams written down already, but then I just decided, hey, maybe I could kind of make this like a game. Let's start this that way. And then at least they can all stand on their own, but for people who are paying attention, they might catch a couple of these little Easter eggs that are thrown back and forth, and then they can start developing that story on their own too.
That sounds like fun. That sounds like so much fun. All right, Nathan, we're coming down to the end of our time together, and I asked this question to every person who comes on the show. It doesn't matter level of experience or how long you've been in the game, but I always ask the guests to give one piece of advice to help other aspiring artists, writers, and creators to kind of get started and do their work. What's the one piece of advice that you took for someone else or that you came up by yourself that you can give to other people about getting stuff done, about writing their work and getting it out there?
For me, it's just been, don't be afraid to ask questions. It seems like everybody I've talked to, I've had a couple bad experiences with a couple illustrators, but for the most part, just asking questions. And it seems like a lot of people in this environment are willing to help. They love they love doing their stuff, but they're willing to help you with your stuff too. So for me, don't be afraid to ask questions, because it seems like there's no shortage of people who out there who love what they're doing, and they're ready and willing to help you out with your project and adventure as well.
Right. All right, that's pretty good, man. So, Nathan, thank you for coming on to the show. I know you don't have any website or anything like that set up. Are there any links you can send me to where I can direct people over to check out some of your work or anything like that?
Yep, I just have a Facebook group, and then I also have an Instagram account. And they're just all, it's kind of basic right now, but they do show different things that have been developed along the way. So yeah, they can check that out, and I'll send those two links over to you.
Okay, great. So guys, if you're interested in more Nathan's work, I'll have those links in the description. Just go down here and click on them. Facebook group, Instagram, and you said Twitter, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, Nathan, thank you for coming on to the show. I'm really looking forward to your work. Let me know when that book comes out, because I will pick up a copy like that. So just keep me posted on Twitter. You have all my information. I can't wait to read your book, man.
Awesome.
All right. Well, you have a good weekend.
Thank you for your time.
No problem. I'll see you on Twitter, my man.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thanks.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Well, that's it for this interview. Thank you guys for watching. If you like the creative idea, the link to their campaign is in the description. When I started off with the Indie Choice Picks videos, I wanted to give a platform to indie creators everywhere. So if you are an indie creator and you have a project that you're working on and you want to come on the show, find me on social media, preferably Twitter or Instagram, and let me know what you're working on. Also, a big shout out to Silver Tiger for giving me that awesome intro you saw at the beginning. I'm Real at Heroic Studios, and remember to support indie creators everywhere.